Yo, what's good, motherfuckers? It's your boy Hailey G. We got the man on the couch, Cash Oni, and the lady of the house, Soul. This is another quick little video. We're doing our deep dive this week on Sinners, the Ryan Coogler movie, a horror movie that has broke the box office and stuff like that. Now, if you watched our podcast, Keep It a Brick, we kind of touched on it slightly, but we didn't really do it enough justice. I kind of felt we said we would want to do a deep dive, so because we really love this film, all three of us, I want to say. So here we are. We're doing a deep dive. This is what it is, right? Um, let's get to it. Now the film that got everybody talking, like I said, this month and this week, besides motherfucking Thunderbolts, which eventually I'll probably go see. Sinners. Ryan Coogler, 19, I want to say it's a 1930s horror film that technically takes place in the Mississippi Delta. I'm going to let y'all know right now before y'all get deep into this motherfucker. There are going to be a lot of spoilers in this motherfucker. So if you have not seen the movies, this is your chance to stop watching now. Let me give y'all a couple seconds. And y'all stop out.
It's been a long enough time to skip. I mean, at this point,
It has been a long enough time. I agree with you. I honestly think that it's been like damn near 3 Mondays now at this point where the movie came out. So if you haven't seen it, it's on you. We have given you time to flee and run. Now we about to get into the shit. All right. Let's get to the basic idea. Let's get to the basic details about this shit. This is a film directed by Ryan Coogler, who also produced the famous Fruitvale Station, who also produced Black Panther, who also produced Wakanda Forever, also produced Creed 1 and 2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's 1. Yeah, Ryan Coogler. Great director. Love his work. Love his cinematography work. Great guy. Straight up off the bat. Again, what do y'all have y'all seen like any of other Ryan Coogler's films besides Black Panther? I think everybody went to see Black Panther.
yeah, I love Fruitville Station. That was my one movie that really touched me, and I really enjoyed. So yeah, I've been watching his work for a while.
I've seen other movies. I haven't seen Fruitvale Station though.
I think you should definitely see
Really?
Fruitvale.
Oh, you gotta watch.
I've seen clips or many clips of it. I have not seen that movie as its whole yet. I will check it out because I see that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan got this great dynamic when it comes down to working with each other. They got this great chemistry working with each other. So I will check that out. But I've seen like Wakanda Forever,
Right.
Creed. I've seen all 3 Creeds too.
Just to keep it on Ryan Coogler just a little bit longer. His next project. I don't know if you heard about what his next project is.
No.
So his next project, he will be working on a sci-fi TV show from the 90s called he will be rebooting The X-Files.
I just watched the X-Files movie the other night
Which
at
I'm
work.
excited about because I love and
Same here. I love The X-Files. If you got to watch the show first, Cash.
No. I remember the show as a kid. I remember the show.
Yeah.
I remember the show as a kid.
Mhm.
We didn't really watch it because we thought it was scary as a kid. So as an adult, I went back and binge watched the X-Files. I started to try to watch the X-Files. So I done caught up and seen a couple of episodes. But I was just saying, the other night at work, I did watch the X-Files movie.
The first one or the second one?
I think it's the first one.
Okay, the first one was a good one. The second one was
I think it was the first one.
first one was really good.
yeah,
The X-Files is a great
the
series.
one. The first one was
They could have kept that. Yeah, they definitely could have kept this. I didn't want to see that. But anyway, let's get back to it, y'all. Brian Coogler, just keeping it on him for just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the bricklayers and to the new bricklayers that's tuning in right now. It is not streaming on anything yet. Let's keep that there. You have to take your black ass to the movie theaters to go see this film. Runtime, I want to say it's
don't watch it on bootleg. Not gonna be the same.
It's not going to feel the same. I think runtime is almost 2 hours.
2 hours, 17 minutes.
My man, appreciate you coming through with the hoop, man. Look at that. Look at that. Serving it up.
That's right.
This film stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Stanfield, and a plethora of black actors and things of that sort. And they also introduced a new actor by the name of Miles Canton, if I'm not mistaken, who is one of the main characters of this film. He is the relic. Next, he is I will literally say that he is co-starring with Michael B. Jordan. He's literally co-starring. The story does center around him, but it does spin off.
It's a great parallel between all the characters in that movie. You know, plays all the characters. You get an introduction to each character in the movie.
Yeah.
I think his name is Miles Caton.
Is
Miles
Caton?
It's Caton, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Caton. Let's get his name right because that man is going somewhere.
They're both
He's young.
like he's like 20 years old.
20 years old, can sing. No, wait. Time out, Cash. It ain't sing. That nigga can sing. That nigga can sing.
Definitely. Sang his
You know
ass
shit
off.
that everybody else is doing? That's singing. That motherfucker can sing.
Yeah. Playing the guitar. I actually like what they got going on. What's her name? I think her name is Jamie. The girl that plays Pearlie. I got her last name. It's Jamie something. Realizing who she is in the movie, you know, I've seen it in other movies. She did a good job there.
Yeah.
Fucking the old dude, what's his name? Lindo.
So her name is Jamie Lawson.
Jamie Lawson, that's her name.
Yeah.
Realizing who she is in the movie and realizing other roles that she did play, I was like, oh man, she did a great job.
Also, Wumi, I always butcher her last name, and I don't want to be that guy, but it's Wumi Mosaku. A lot of y'all don't remember her. She played in a lot of films. She was in her most famous film, obviously, is Loki and stuff like that from the Marvel universe. She played one of the TVA directors. But I remember the first time I saw her acting, I saw her in Lovecraft Country. I've seen her in Lovecraft Country. She was Journey Smollett's sister in the show. Smollett here, man. Is it Smollett? Oh, Smollett, whatever. Fuck here. We love Journey. All right, we got a lot of love for him. Even Jesse. We still love him too.
I don't know about all that. We're feeling lonely on here.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is wild.
He lost love his shit.
We love him. We don't love the bullshit. But back to Sinners. This is a horror film, technically. It is supposed to be a horror film, but it doesn't really feel like a horror film.
Yeah, I was expecting to be scared. Like, I don't like scary movies, so I kind of didn't want to go see it at first. But I was like, no, I don't want to miss out, and I want to support. So I was like, I'll just cover my eyes if it gets too scary. But it was never that I was scared. I don't think it was scary.
Yeah, definitely. Again, so this takes place in the Mississippi Delta of like 1930s. You have two twins played by Michael B. Jordan. And this is just a little quick synopsis for those who have not seen it. You know, these two twins were working in organized crime, but they are, they come back home for a specific reason to get things going and things like that. And then sundown happens, all hell breaks loose at this point. But let's dive a little deeper in this because this is our deep dive right now. So let's get to the quotes and all that shit. And before we get deep into the story, what was your gut reaction? Like, what was your first, what was your first reaction after seeing the film and all that shit?
I haven't seen a good movie like that in theaters in a minute.
That's
That was
interesting.
like my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cash.
First reaction was, I gotta go see it again.
And I'm normally
Right.
not like that.
I gotta hear. I don't do that with a lot of movies, but me having to go back and see this one, yeah, that was the reaction. I gotta go back and see it because I knew it was a lot I was going to miss the first
Yeah.
time around.
Okay.
So
I'm same here. All right.
Definitely a lot of stuff missed. Yeah.
Definitely. But fuck it. We here now. Let's get into it. So, the two characters, Smoke and Stack, played by Michael B. Jordan, are back from the back from Chicago and the Mississippi Delta, and these individuals basically were working for the mob at one point in time. The I don't want to go deep into the whole, you know what I'm saying, like what we think, because there are a lot of theories of who they were working for in XYZ, right?
I mean, it's not a theory because
It's kind of proven. It is proven.
it's
One was, yeah, it's in the movie. So they were working for the Italian and French, well, Italian and Irish mob. Yeah.
Irish mob.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Irish mob, definitely. And so when that happened, they turned around and, acquired some beverages from both sides of the team, if that's nicely saying the right way. By doing that, they started a war and they escaped the city. They come down to the Mississippi Delta, which is their home, and they come across a white man who decides to let them buy this great place.
Mhm.
Right? But they also come across their cousin, Preacher Boy, played by Miles. You know what I'm saying? We have Miles, and you see him, and we get to know who he is as well. We find out that he's a preacher boy who does everything for his kid, does everything for his dad. He works under his dad, listens to him.
Yeah.
Very good boy until the sun goes down and it's time to sing the blues and some other things. We'll talk about that in a little while. So far in this story, we come across the twins, we come across Preacher Boy, we come across the juke joint that they purchased. They purchased this place for a juke joint. And I know Cash was asking earlier, like, he wanted to ask us, like, what is one of our favorite scenes of the movie?
Mhm.
Right. And I think for me, I can answer this now is when they buy the juke joint and the juke joint is popping. Because I know we're getting a little ahead, but the juke joint is popping. That is like my favorite scene because it's like you see the house burning, you see the juke joint burning down. Not only do you see the juke joint burning down, you see a lot of culture, Black culture, being orchestrated through this film in a certain way. Yeah. It was great. It was great to see. You see like hip hop, you seen actual Africans doing fucking tribal dances and shit with their legs and shit, just doing that shit was the most beautiful piece of work at that point that I think I've ever seen. When it comes down to that scene, that was like beautiful.
I got a question. When we get to that scene, I got a question for you guys on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we meet both Stack and Smoke and Stack. We meet Miles Caden's character as Preacher Boy.
Preacher Boy.
In the intro, we get this scene where Preacher Boy goes down to the church.
Right. That's the first scene.
No, not the first scene. When he goes down to look, when he's looking for his guitar.
Okay.
When he's looking for a guitar, he has to go to his father, and his father tells him, "I'm basically using this guitar as leverage to get you to help me out giving the sermon for tomorrow." Mind you, that everything takes place within 24 hours.
That's the crazy part of this film.
So
it is. It's like, damn, all that happened.
All this happened in 24 hours. All this happened on a Saturday to Saturday night.
That's Sunday morning.
Yeah. So Preacher Boy is to help deliver the sermon for church in the morning. His father asked him to read the script. I think the script was Corinthians. I forget what chapter and what verse, but it's Corinthians. Preacher Boy lets his father know that, well, Dad, I don't need to, study the Bible already. I already know the Bible. As he shuts the Bible to continue reciting. He gets his guitar. He lets his father know, I just want to be free from this for one day. I want to be free from all the work, the church, the worship, and everything, all of this for one. I'll be back in the morning to help you live with a family.
When he said that, I was like, I don't think he's gonna make it back on time. That's what I was thinking when he said that. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about the first scene of the movie, you know what I'm saying, where you do see Preacher Boy pulling up,
him like stumbling in there. Yeah.
and stumbling in the fucking church, damaged, beat the fuck up, scarred the fuck. Like somebody just whooped his ass. I'm like, damn, did you at least hit the bitch? Did you?
I mean, in that instance, it's like you got to see the other guy.
You're right. Well, shit. You ain't lying there. You got me there. Anyway, back to the story. We also, so in the process of this, we come across, they split off. You have Smoke and Stack split off. I think Smoke goes his way with the liquor and things of that sort. And then Stack and Preacher Boy go looking for a musician. Delroy Lindo's character by the name of Delta Slim. Delta Slim is a blues harmonica player. He does this shit, but he's a corn liquor wino. That's what I want to call him. A corn liquor wino.
You wanted that beer so damn bad he would have did anything.
Man, he was literally like, oh boy, our menace to society. Man,
like
that guy. Once he
know
tastes
what-
that beer, he was tripping.
You know what's crazy about each as we go along, as they're getting picked up?
Mm-hmm.
This starting with Delta Slim character. He's basically telling them, I don't want to do this job for y'all because I know that the other job I got is going to be around. So these guys, they were trying to have that skate right. Like, I don't want to go really do this, but they were persuaded into doing it.
They were.
You hear me? Each character they wouldn't go get, even cornbread. He was persuaded into leaving, to go help out with this one event.
I feel like that represented like trust your intuition. All their intuition was telling them like, nah, I don't think we should do this. And you see what happened. So maybe, you gotta trust your intuition and not always do it if you don't think correct.
Even Smoke's character was persuaded into doing it. Night. Smoke first initial thought was, I think what you just set up, and we'll start next week. He had to be persuaded into, now we're opening this bitch tonight. We're gonna do it tonight because look at the sky. It's one hell of a night to, be free, basically. And so you have to look at that when each main character or key character is persuaded that you're going to perform or do something for the juke joint that night.
Great. With Delta Slim and Preacher Boy, Delta Slim gets convinced and persuaded by the beer to come on down and perform at the juke joint, which he decides. He does threaten Preacher Boy that he was going to cut him if he even played his goddamn guitar on his thing. Also a little ahead of ourselves because we didn't talk about this. While Stack and Preacher Boy are together, Stack is asking Preacher Boy questions about his father and saying like, hey, is he hitting you? Is he abusing you? What's going on? And XYZ. And Preacher Boy's like, oh no, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Everything is cool. Me and Pops is cool. We just don't want to preach today.
Talk about the Afro-Workers.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when he hands him the guitar. Then he tells him that it was a certain musician's guitar, a famous musician's guitar, which we'll talk about later. And he plays the song Traveling. That's when he starts singing Traveling and shit like that, which was a beautiful, beautiful song. The song by Mr. Cannon. It's that, goddamn, that man can sing. He can sing, goddamn it. Again, they get to the train station, they meet Delta Slim, they talking to Delta Slim. Delta Slim is now persuaded. In the process of all of that, Miss Mary comes around as in Dr. Umar would say, nobody has arrived.
That scene had me dying laughing.
Like-
Like, then he was like, I told you, leave me the fuck alone with it. I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't think it was going to go that way when they first started.
Miss Mary, played by Haley Stanfield, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Haley Stanfield. Y'all remember she plays in a lot of shit. Also, she was in the MCU. She's fucking technically Hawkeye. She's Kate in the
The
MCU.
doctor is?
Yeah, she's Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop from Hawkeye. Yes.
What is her?
Yeah. She is also engaged to Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. It's a little bit of 6 degrees of separation for y'all here. But yeah, she comes around. Now she was involved with Stack at one point in time. She still loves Stack. Stack tries to send her on about her way, but she threatens Stack and explains to expose Stack, like, oh, you expect for me to leave after you done stuck your tongue in my cools? And then that's what she said, cool. COZZ. Cool. I did not know motherfuckers was saying cools or using that as the word for coochie, but I guess that's about to be the new slang now. That is going to be the new
word. The new word.
new word. The way these young niggas be talking now, I see cools being the thing. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I don't lie about it. So eventually Stack gets Miss Mary away from him. He dispels her after he says some mean, hurtful things just to get her away.
Mhm.
Stack, Preacher Boy are on their way now to go pick up someone else. Now, I think they do. I don't remember because this was like about 2 weeks since I've seen it. But Cash can remind me if I'm wrong because you just recently seen it.
Mhm.
Do they go and pick up cornbread right after that, or do we split off and see Smoke where he goes? Right?
Yeah, we go. Well, we cut to Smoke, and Smoke is going to the Childs. Interesting scene from each. I realized on my second watch, I realized I didn't really. So as Smoke is going to get the Childs, he meets this little girl. He asks this little girl, "Hey, are you good with time? I need you to do me a favor. I need you to watch my truck." He teaches the little girl about negotiating.
Yes, he does. That was
So he teaches her a very, very valuable lesson in life about negotiating. Hey, when we talking money, you talking money all the way through. If I'm talking numbers, you talk numbers back. So you negotiate with the child and asks her to watch the truck. If anybody come, you lay on the horn. That's the specific words. So the first shot is him meeting Mr. Child, whose name is Bo. Who is he played by? Bo.
I got you.
Bo.
Bo. Fuck. Give me 1 second. Because I got it. Because they don't have all of the cast right here. You dirty son of a bitch. Give me 1 second. I got him.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Bo. His name is. Where the fuck is he at? Oh, his name is Yao.
His real name is Yao?
Yeah.
Not me. Okay. Well, we go get Bo. Here Smoke is telling Bo that, hey, I need you guys, I need 100 catfish to feed feed a family, and I'm gonna also need gambling and liquor and all.
But wait a minute. You kind of skipping over something though.
What are we skipping?
The introduction of Little Lisa.
Yes.
Oh.
You can't forget that part. That part is so significant. It's so significant. Little Lisa.
Yes. And her running to the other store, because when I first seen it, I didn't realize that was the Black people's store that the husband was in, and the store that she worked in was for white people. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
When they went across the street?
Yep.
I just thought, oh shit, they got 2 stores. Totally didn't think it like one for Black, one for white. I'm just like,
no, it was a segregated store.
I'm like, wait.
There was a segregated store. Little Lisa runs over there to go get Mama because she's the one who makes the signs and everything else. Nigga, Papa Bo is the one that makes shit happen. You know what I'm saying? He the money man. He the one that's negotiating shit right along with his wife, Lee.
Great.
That's her name. Well, Grace. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's played by Lee Jun Lee. You know what I'm saying? Which you're gonna hate her later, but we'll get to that part.
Well, and this and also you get to actually see who was fucking with the blacks and who was fucking with the whites, which is going to play a card into it later because Bo at the black store, his embrace or his welcoming to Smoke was a warm one. Damn, I haven't seen my brother in a while.
Yeah.
When Grace is called and she's the first thing, do you have to bring trouble everywhere you go? Now, why she spoke that is because the little girl in the beginning lays on the horn. Somebody's trying to rob Smoke on the back of his truck, trying to rob the back of his truck. Smoke ends up shooting 2 people.
Love it.
Smoke ends up shooting 2
I know, get
people.
me out. That's the game.
He has to pay Grace to, patch him up and everything. But like I was saying, Grace's introduction was more so of you niggas always bringing trouble. You niggas are trouble. And I'm only speaking on Smoke and Stat because we know nothing about the rest of the.
Right.
You feel me? So we meet Bo, we meet Grace, we meet little, what's her name? Little Angel. Lisa. Lisa looks mean as hell too.
She look mean like her damn mama.
She do.
Lisa Chow.
Did you see with the child? Did you see that Bo and Lisa have a little bit of, I want to say, color to them? And what I mean by that, listen to the way they talk.
Yeah.
If you listen to the way
They were more soulful.
Yeah.
Compared to
Because they was the ones that worked at the black store.
right. Compared to Grace, who was like, she was all proper and shit like that. But again, we're gonna get to hate her in a little while anyway. After that goes off.
I know. I was just gonna say just a little fun fact that I just read that in Chinese culture, red ink is bad luck. If you write a name in red ink is bad luck. And I'm assuming they knew that. So when they kept saying, oh, all we got is red ink, they didn't give a damn that it was bad luck. They still did the sign. Lynn wasn't rocking. She wasn't rocking with them.
Not completely.
Well, Bo did throw out the disclaimer. But we only got one E.
Yeah.
He did.
But she was like,
But he did, yeah.
they didn't really go into detail. They just said, all we got is red. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, they were trying to say, like, maybe we should wait. Try to do this another day.
Basically, that's what Keego. Let's talk. We'll talk about the movie today. Yeah.
You're gonna talk about it. No, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
But, that was a running theme in the movie was we should wait. That was a running theme.
Everything was like, I don't know if we should do this or not. Like,
be patient, my nigga. Be patient. So boom, they do turn around. They get all the stuff. They cooking fish and chicken and all type of shit at this motherfucker.
Oh, you missed one.
What? What's it?
The scene where Stack, Preacher Boy, Delta Slim are on their way to get cornbread. That's an important scene to watch too. Cause see, in that scene is where
we haven't got that scene yet.
That's right after the boat at the Child's.
That's right after the Child's, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
we done. We know the Child's.
Yeah, we don't the Child's. So, cause we get them to, we just before the cooking. So we get to see the Chain Gang on the road.
Right.
They're doing their rendition of what the blues or whatever songs they sing to keep them in high spirits at the time as they're working. You see Delta Slim get up and he yells at the prisoners, "Hey, y'all hold y'all head." One of the prisoners recognizes Delta Slim, starts shouting Delta Slim. The CEO or the guard lets off a shotgun shot.
Yeah.
You feel me? Preacher Boy goes into asking, "Hey, did you know those guys?" He said, "I know all of them." He goes into this story about one of his friends after they do a job for a bunch of white people, they get paid so much money. This is where he becomes the alcoholic he is.
Yeah.
He drinks away his money for the corn liquor while his friend decides to get a train ticket and move away to go start a business. Well, during his friend's departure, he find him I would say the Klan finds him, sees him with a bunch of money, and make up a lie about why he has all the money. He robs a man, he raped his wife. They ended up hanging the man right there at the train station.
Yeah.
You see Delta Slim. I guess they saying the origins of how blues were really started because you see Delta Slim in so much pain from this memory that he goes into a deep hymn, where he's making noise. You see Stack tell Preacher Boy, "Hey, you got the guitar, you start playing it."
Yeah.
Basically saying that we've always sung about our grievances. We always, you feel me? That was an important scene too. If you pay attention to it, that was a strong scene to me to see that.
Mhm.
If you got older family, especially older family for the South, they do that type of stuff where they put their legs, or they cook and they bust out with they start humming.
And shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's resonating
Yeah.
deep, that resonated deep with the South. So that was a strong scene for me to watch too. I love that scene in the movie too.
Yeah, definitely. So let's try to hurry up and get through the film to this point. So again, we get to the Smoke also meets another character. We meet up with Annie, which is Smoke's wife, who is a voodoo
My favorite part of the movie.
priest.
My girl.
She is a voodoo priestess. You see Smoke pull up. He drops the flowers off to his baby's grave, their child's grave. I believe they had the miscarriage or something like that. But she comes inside the house, and I think this is like one of those significant scenes, right? Especially for Black women. You see her not only as strong and spiritual, she prayed over that man. You didn't even know, like, this man been wearing a whole fucking sack of spirit on his ass, and that's been protecting him. And so, you know, it's just one of those things that you really don't think about. And I think it was like one of those great scenes. Besides, you know what I'm saying, Wumi getting them back shots from Michael B. Jordan, which was crazy. She was crazy as fuck. That scene was just really emotional, just to know that like somebody like
It
she
was.
loved him, or like wholeheartedly, unconditionally. She loved that man. She didn't give a fuck about where he was at in the street. She knew that nigga was out getting money, but she loved that man, and she supported that man. I know that's probably like one of your favorite parts of the movie. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get in there and handle that a lot.
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm very spiritual, and you see how we're crystals and those things.
Right.
Well, honestly, I thought that was his mom at first, which I love interest. At first, I thought it was his mom.
Time out.
Maybe.
Time out. Because you're not the only person that told me that.
Well, mom, like when he first walked in and like how he was moving, it didn't look like that was he was coming to see his girl. It just seemed like it was like a mom or like I don't know. And then when they start talking, he's sexual. I was like, whoa, that is not his mom.
When I took my wife to go see that, she was like, "Oh, I thought that was his mom." I'm like, "How?" And she was like, "Well, I thought that was his mom," and then she like grabbed his dick. I'm like, "Whoa, what?"
And it's sad to me. Honestly, I think that's because we're not used to seeing those type of women as a love interest in movies. So I think that threw me off, and that's really unfortunate. Honestly, like I'm glad that they did show her and represented her in that light. But yes, that is what I thought at first.
They represented listen to me. Her portrayal of a girlfriend or whatever she was at for him
Right.
was accurate as hell. It was accurate.
Strong women.
Not even. I'm talking about when it comes down to looks. Think about the time we were in. Everything wasn't fine, and what we see today. You feel me? I think her portrayal was accurate. I got the right person to play his girlfriend or love interest. Let me just say that. Baby mama, because that's what she was. Baby mama.
No, that was his wife, man.
That was his wife?
His wife. Respect to her name.
She was his wife?
Yes.
There wasn't baby mamas back then. They was getting married.
They was
Where he
nigga
was-
once the baby was
left his baby. That nigga left
already
his
there,
wife.
they was married.
He
Nigga,
left his wife for 7 years. He left them for 7
But I
years.
think once the baby died, it seemed like they separated maybe after that, caused
Right.
some strain.
They just went on their own ways to do their own thing. And again, like I said, that scene was crazy. One thing I didn't expect in that scene was the back shots. I was not expecting that. Thought that was wild as hell. Shout out though. Shout out to Ryan for putting that in. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. And shout out to Whoopi for doing her shit. I mean, she did her shit in that one too. But that wasn't even the best sex scene in the movie. But we're gonna get to that later.
Definitely not.
That's the end of the movie. And so they come out, they have a conversation. You find out that she does voodoo and stuff like that. You see her take off his satchel. He has a little small like good luck charm that she prayed over, and you see the auras and the spirits start coming around and stuff like that. And I think this comes up as a interesting conversation right now, because I think it's that time to have that conversation when it comes down to like Christianity. Because a lot of people who are like a lot of Christian folk who have went to go see this movie, are a little outraged because of how Christianity is somewhat portrayed in this film, or the fact that voodoo, you know what I'm saying, exists in this film and things of that sort. So I really want people to understand. I think the message I want to pass on today to people is that Christianity was forced upon enslaved Africans. You need to understand that in Africa, there was no Christianity. We were doing things such as rolling shit and praying to sun gods and XYZ and certain things like that you may consider hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I've been called a witch.
Wow.
That's kind of sorry.
What's up? Yeah. We'll have to
It could
talk
be a
about that.
mixture. Yeah.
But I want people to understand that Christianity was not the natural religion of enslaved or people from Africa. Christianity was a thing that was brought onto continents as a forceful tactic of control and colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors didn't know anything about Jesus Christ until they were beaten into submission to learn and to love the Lord. Now we look at the old ways of things and be like, that's the devil. Just a little tidbit, just my opinion, just my little soapbox. Just
Well,
wanted to bring that up.
I'm glad you did, because to be play on that card later.
Fortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate because honestly, that's what saved them was the,
Right.
the spiritual side of Annie and all the things that she was doing when they were in the juke joint. So it just kind of showed that that's what kind of saved them when they needed it, not, praying or anything like that. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But yeah, I love that they showed that in the film.
I agree. So no, let's skip on after they have their incredible sex scene. You know what I'm saying? We go back to Stack. We go back to Stack. We go back to Delta Slim and Preacher Boy. And now they're going to go pick up, at this point, Cornbread, if I'm not mistaken. Cornbread is working in the fields, picking cotton, making money. He turns around, Stack turns around and says, come on, man, come with us. He said, nah, man, I'm good. I'm going to pick my cotton. I'm already behind. Stuff like that. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what Stack say? Man, you need to come on and get this money. I got enough money to make sure your girl put your dick in her mouth. Your pecker in the mouth. That's what he said.
I was like, dang. I was like, they just talking wild in this movie when I.
Cornbread was played by Omari Miller, and again, one of a great act. Omar Miller, I'm sorry, Omar Benson Miller. Now, if you gotta remember who Omar Miller is, bro, you seen 8 Mile?
He looks so young though. Doesn't he look still young? I feel like he
Yeah.
hasn't aged.
He is. How old is Omar Miller? Omar Miller was
think he's
born
like-
in 1978. He is 46 years old.
10 freaking girls inside that didn't take a.
Them Craig A girls. Ted, that's it. Yeah, he always looked pretty young though. He's always looked young. He's been acting. His first big role was Sorority Boys. The second one was 8 Mile. But yeah, I remember that when he was at 8 Mile and shit like that. But he had a great one. But he showed his ass in this film. That's what I wanted to say. Cornbread was crazy because Cornbread was like, you ain't gonna talk like that about my wife. I'm about to whoop your ass right now. Until his girl stopped him and was like, well, go ahead and see how much money he got.
Because basically told him he ain't lying to you. You bring us some money, I got something for you, basically. So
Yeah. But anyway,
we pick up
Definitely.
we pick up Cornbread, who is supposed to be or who is the doorman for the night. So that's his job as to be doorman. After we pick up Cornbread, we are now back at the juke joints. No.
yep.
Nope.
Pop-
Sorry. No, sorry. No, we're not. Joy. Where we here is where we get the middle scene where we now read Remnick.
Oh yeah.
We meet Remnick at this part of the movie. This part of the movie. We see Remnick falling into the scene. We're falling into the camera as he's running up to a house that's in the middle of fucking nowhere. I swear to God, that reminds me of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
It did.
It reminded me of Courage the Cowardly Dog. So Remnick is running up to he's running from the Choctaw Indians. I think that's how you say it. Choctaw. Choctaw. I don't know.
I wish they would have expanded more on that. I felt like that was kind of like
They
just
kind of
like
touched
closed
on it
it
at
out.
the
Like,
beginning.
they showed the Indian. They didn't really show them after that.
But they kind of touched on them at the beginning of the film because when the film starts, they talk about the different tribes who tried to keep this person in check. Now which is Remnick, right? So Remnick comes, you see Remnick just drops out of the sky, burnt to crisp, knocking on the door, white folks.
Literally.
Here. The door with a gun drawn. He sees that they're the Ku Klux Klan. He allows them to come in. He's like, can you? He makes them. Asks them to invite him in. That there's some guys trying to chase him. Indians that come up and chasing him are looking for him. They knock on the door and ask if a man has appeared. We are looking for him, and it's very important that we find him. Get off my lawn, you goddamn Indians, in so many words. Get off my lawn. Which the person that had no lawn.
Try to save your stupid ass, but hey.
I swear to God, he asked twice, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna let you white motherfuckers have it. Good luck."
That is not why he's
Probably.
Not why he did that though. But that's
again, same thing for the white people. Joan and Bert. So same thing for Joan and Bert. They're persuaded into letting him into the house.
correct.
He offers them gold. They look at the gold like, oh yeah, we ain't never seen this before.
It's some weird ass gold at that.
So so they're persuaded to losing their lives that day. As soon as I guess I want to say the high chief, the chief,
Correct.
the chief Indian Choctaw guy, you know he peeps subtly to the house.
Yeah.
And that's where he sees what? A white man, a Klan outfit. Boy, he got pissed off. That boy got pissed off at that point. You know what? I'm trying to save you, nigga.
Well, not only that, because that's true.
Not you, nigger.
Not only that, but that's true too. The other fact was it was getting dark. It was getting dark.
Yep.
You know
It's getting dark. We already knew she about to go down when the thing go
we
down.
need to get back to where we going and get back to where we need to be. At this point, it gets dark. You find Remnick up in there chewing on your boy Bert. Bert. That he's gone. Wife Joan. Wife Joan gets it next. Boom. Now we at the juke joint. Montage of shit getting dressed and ready. And again, the cinematography in this film was just great and how everything just transitioned so quickly. And so we get the juke joint going. They start painting the sign and they get everything cracking. They get the fish frying and people singing and dancing. You got Delta Slim doing his thing. Preacher Boy finally performs. And then again, like I was saying, this is my favorite scene of the film. You start seeing all the coaches entwine and start dancing and things of that shit. The house burns down. Visually. Go ahead.
Stop. I got to go.
What is it?
When the house begins to burn down,
Mm.
what was your interpretation of this?
I'm glad you asked that because that was the next thing I was going to go into. I took that scene as like kind of like it was spiritual, but it was also cultural. And I look at it like kind of like a hip hop thing, like the roof, the roof, the roof. We don't get no water.
That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Black people would be having so much fun that we do not care if the building is burning down. You get me? That was my
no matter how bad shit going.
Yeah. So they partying their life away. You starting to see all the coaches and shit like that. But by doing that, they expose themselves because Preacher Boy is again the target. He is a powerful. He's not even that. It's not even crazy because it's just because the way he sings and how he sings and what he sings, he can bring other cultures and people around him and make people go back to where they come from.
Not even that. Let you know that music transcends time.
Exactly.
Because they didn't just go into the music; they went into the future.
Correct. But for Remnick, it was for a certain reason.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that's why I said what I just said. Now Remnick finds them at the juke joint at this point. Him, Joan, Bert. Also Mary is there. She's there now. She didn't snuck her ass up in there.
Oh yeah, she didn't got her ass in there.
Yeah, just real quick.
Quick sidebar. Quick sidebar.
Sidebar.
Smoke tried to get rid of her. Smoke
You mean Stack?
No, Smoke tried to get rid of her. Smoke told Stack to go get rid of her.
Yeah.
Smoke told him, go get rid of her now. Now, this is another good scene because and I want to be quick about this. Why is another good scene? Because within that time you get the scene between Mary and Stack. Will Stack give her closure? You give her closure. And fellas, this is a sidebar. This is what you start saying to your woman now. You see that line? I used it the other day. It was funny. Listen, use that line from now on. It's closure. Good scene.
Closure is everything, folks.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Closure is everything. So let's get into it deeper, a little quick, a little faster. So the night goes on. Remnick comes to the door. He asks to be him and his band of merry men and women are singing their way.
It's goofy the way they like look them to the door.
Also, Remnick is played by let me get this right because I don't want to fuck this up.
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell. If you don't know who Jack O'Connell is, you need to figure this out because Jack O'Connell was from a lot of people don't remember this show. He was from Skins. Jack O'Connell was from fucking Skins, MTV Skins, bro, UK style. Used to love watching that shit. But he also played in some other things as well. I remember Jack from Skins. He comes to the door and he's like, I want to be he's trying to get his people to invite in. They like, hell no, get your ass up out of here. Get the fuck on. It always has to be the white person. Well, we do need that money. It was they weren't turning any money, so they were getting plantation money.
About the gold.
But they were getting plantation money. So they were getting plantation money the whole night at the juke joint, which isn't going to pay for shit. It's just plantation money. And that was another thing which I found interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
That was a way to keep us back too.
Yeah.
It was a way to keep us back. Even Annie, Miss Annie, when she was back at her house, she didn't have real money.
All of that, yeah.
So that was a way to keep us back.
It had no value in the currency.
You barely had ancestor money. Could that?
Yeah, and so going forward, Mary. So she talks to Stack, and they find out that they're not making any money. So she turns around and she gets up there. She's like, "Yeah, I'll whoop any hoe ass and all that," but then gets sent outside to go find out if they have any gold. In the process of that, Mary comes up. They start singing that song, which was a beautiful Irish motherfucking jig, I will say.
Larfy, go
Real you go, lassie. Yeah, that shit hit. I actually listened to the Sinner soundtrack.
I did too.
Believe it or not. I am guilty. I am a guilty motherfucker who, if it's a good movie, I will go out and listen to your soundtrack. True. Rush Hour was, real quick, sidebar, Rush Hour was my first soundtrack I've ever bought.
The soundtracks.
Yeah. Rush Hour was my first movie soundtrack. Take a listen to it, because that song by Rod Wave hit. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Need more of it. Need more of it. Pick Poor Robin Clean was dope. That was a good song as well.
Pick Poor Robin Clean. I'm sorry that I know these songs.
That shit's crazy. Those are good songs. But again, let's get into it. So the night goes on. Mary comes back. She gets invited in.
Mm-hmm.
She asks to be invited in by Cornbread. Cornbread unknowingly invites her in, like, "Come on in, Miss Mary." Sure. He knew her, and she white, so come on in. So after she gets invited in, she meets up with Stack, and that's where this is the best sex scene, because that's when they start fucking around and start getting shit cracking. And I will say about that sex scene, though, I do have a question, because everybody has this question, because you start seeing her after they're getting passionate, she starts to drool.
Mm-hmm.
This is also what occurs when she gets bitten. They start drooling. She notices that they're drooling. She tries to get away. It's too late. She comes inside. Stack notices that she starts drooling. And he goes, "Hey, you can't be like, bitch, you're drooling. You want to do a white thing?" And yeah, we had. She's like, "Oh, well, you won't."
You have something. What about the stick in my mouth?
Hey. She got to have some fresh bread, though.
Anyway.
I'm with you on that one. I don't know. Depend. That happens. Next thing you know, you see Miss Stanfield straddling our young hero. She proceeds to bite Stack.
Yeah. His ass off. He's eating him up.
Stack is no longer at that point. They shoot. They actually, smoke comes in and finds. Wait, we skipped.
Good thing.
Well, Miss Perline, we forgot to introduce Miss Perline. Miss Perline was also, Jamie Lawson's sister, was also at the train station. She meets Preacher Boy. She tells Preacher Boy that she's married.
A married woman.
A married woman, but she comes to the juke joint to see Preacher Boy sing. Preacher Boy sings. After Preacher Boy sings, it burns down the house. They go into the office before Stacks and Miss Mary, and he decides to turn around and eat some cooch. Eat the coos. Eat the coos, as you young folks would say.
And he said, "You don't need to wash up." He said, "I wanted her to eat it."
I want it. He said he raw dog that. That's crazy.
We want the season today.
Right?
We want the season of today. Mind you, Delta Slim character, the fucking
He was a
he's watching all of this in real time. You know, at this point,
He's looking at all this shit going on.
So he sees everything that's actually happening. So
yeah. At this point, motherfuckers start getting bit. They start figuring shit out. Annie turns around and goes in a room with Smoke after that and has a conversation with Smoke and saying, hey, if this happens to me as if your brother, you must kill me. Miss Annie figures it out that they're vampires, and that's what's going on. She starts running. She starts doing her voodoo in the back, and she notices something that's not gonna. She notices, she sees the future, and every time she keeps trying to get a different outlook, it keeps coming back the same. At this point, we figured out everybody's Mr. Cornbread goes. Cornbread goes out. He goes, takes a piss,
Goes to the bathroom.
gets caught up. Boom. Next thing you know, we see a musical jig. We even got Michael B. Jordan.
Fucking Thriller.
What? I loved every moment of that shit. When they were out there
for five.
right? They motherfuckers was Irish shit. They was doing everything. Motherfuckers was flipping in the air. Like, it was crazy. One of the things I also talked about, I had this conversation with my wife about this shit. It was like, it was good to get a kind of another different take on black vampires. Because we really don't have a lot of black vampire movies. Like, yeah, we got black. Yeah, we got Vampire in Brooklyn, which is one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? But we never really had a black horror vampire film that really stood out. That wasn't a horror film. That was New York. That was New York.
Yeah.
That was just comedy, and I love Meet the Blacks, but it was comedy. That was straight comedy. But at this point, everybody's a motherfucking vampire. You know what I'm saying? Shit starts going crazy. Bo turns into a vampire. After he goes and tries to fetch the car and tries to go home to little Lisa with him and his wife. She turns around and as they're trying to get ready, if they can stay, they figured it out. Like, the motherfuckers scared the son. Stacks knockdowns the door and runs out and tries to get killed. Well, he tries to get him until Annie throws some pickled garlic in his face, and he like a motherfucking cat and ran. Boom, he runs out the door. They lock the door. This is where y'all gonna hate old girl Grace yells out because she's upset because her husband is gone. She wants to go to her daughter. Come on in, you motherfuckers! And as soon as you did that, all hell broke. So all the vampires came in. It was a fight to the finish. A lot of people died. Annie was killed. Fucking people dying left and right. Grace goes out in a fucking blaze of glory, literally,
just to kill her husband.
She showed
just to kill her husband. Kill her motherfucking else soul. God damn it! Fuck her. Fuck her. I hate her. Yeah, just to make sure
that she don't want to eat the garlic.
Which garlic? She didn't want to eat the garlic because it didn't taste. She don't like the taste of garlic, which is weird to me because I think
you heard about the wrong thing
at the wrong time. To make a long story short, now at this point it's Stack versus Smoke. They start fighting each other because, again, Stack is now a vampire and he doesn't want to do this life without his brother. They always been together. One of the things I also noticed about this film that I kind of remember was the fact of just to get is the whole twin thing. You know what I'm saying? How twins are so significant within our culture and how we kind of think that. Like the Yoruba people, they kind of look at twins as a god kind of complex and things of that sort of stuff. Just real quick on that type of stuff. So again, at this point, people are dying. Perlene dies. Everybody's dying at this point. It's getting wiped out. It's getting too crazy. The sun is coming up though. At this point, and they figure it out. Preacher Boy and Remnick. At this point, Preacher Boy has been taken by Remnick. They're fighting outside. The guitar comes into play because it has steel, or was it metal? Or it was steel or something like that.
Something silver.
And he hits Remnick with it, and it starts burning his ass up. He's the head vampire. The sun comes up. Boom. Bam. That's it. Remnick also gives something away, though. which was very vital. Remnick told him that it wasn't even about hate. It wasn't even about him being black. He said that the person who owned this place that sold it to you was coming back in the morning, coming back tonight to kill y'all anyway.
And they rolled the right the fuck up as soon as he
After they feel
the ass.
Michael B. Jordan's character Smoke gets ready for a fight. He takes it to him. Unfortunately, he does get shot.
He only gets shot because he takes off the relic.
He took off his relic. Once he took off his relic, he died. But he did that for a purpose because Annie told them that your child is waiting for you on the other side. And when I die, I'll be waiting for you with your child on the other side. That meant, again, get you an Annie, goddammit.
That moment, I love that moment, you know.
Motherfucker.
He went out like a
Yeah.
killed his ass.
Killed everybody. He's alive.
Reunited with his family.
Reunited with his family. He couldn't roll that spliff though. That was the crazy part.
Well,
he never finished it. He said, fuck that shit.
No,
He died.
No,
it was a nerd.
Smoke never rolled the power burn.
That's right. Stack was the one who would always roll him.
That was
the roll. Smoke, he light him.
Always passed it to his brother. He never rolled his own cigarette. He always.
But Annie also said, Smoke wasn't gonna be able to hold the baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was like, fuck that shit. I want to hold my baby.
What?
So again, and then the movie ends with Preacher Boy coming back and going back to the church. His dad, who was played by the famous poet Saul fucking Williams. Love it. Love Saul Williams and shit. Saul Williams, his dad, he turns around and tells him, son, let go of the guitar. And you see Preacher Boy standing there shaking. The next thing you know, you see him off. And then it goes off and you see, it goes off at that point. Say it again.
We missed something.
We missed.
We missed before Preacher Boy goes back to the church. Mm-hmm. Smoke tells Preacher Boy and bury that fucking guitar.
Yeah.
And Preacher Boy tells him, I can't. You guys gave it to me from this famous museum.
Yeah. He said, man, that motherfucking guitar from my daddy.
Yeah. He said, who tells you that? You like, well, Stack told me that. He said, that nigga lied to you, nigga, basically. But then that guitar, mom. That's my daddy's guitar. That's our dad's guitar that you got.
He used to beat us.
Well, he used to be Smoke. He used to be Stack. He Smoke. Mm-hmm. We can talk about that off. Yeah, I got you for that.
That's another beat.
So we get to the end of the movie at this point. There are two post-credit scenes. We will not be discussing those post-credit scenes here. I want you guys to go ahead and go check those out at this point. But I do want to get to this part of our show or our video at this point. Let's get to the final parts of it. What worked for you? What worked for you in this film? I'm gonna go with y'all first. What worked for y'all in this film? What did you love really about this film?
I loved the brotherhood of them as twins, and I love like they were just trying to do better. Like that was the whole kind of premise. Like they wanted to come back to their town and and do something positive, even though that's not how it went, but that was their intentions. But it also kind of made me think when you do stuff with bad intentions, like they stole that stuff from the mob. It was never going to go good when you start off bad anyway. So it just kind of plays into that.
Okay. What about you, Cash? What did you like about the film?
The twin aspect of how these two, I guess, similar people are totally different. You got one with Stack who's always smiling. He's a talker. He can talk. He's one of those. You got Smoke, the protector. You feel me? He never smiles. They think he doesn't smile. He actually smiles 2 times in that movie. His character smiles twice in that movie. You just have to catch him smiling.
Okay, catch him.
You feel me? He smiles one time when he's dancing with his wife.
Yep.
Quick smile. And the second time is when he holds his baby for the first time. He tell the baby that Papa. And the second time he smiles. He's very subtle and very quick. Another thing I like about this movie, once again, just like with Wakanda Forever, cinematography is great. Cinematography is great. I know if I would have got to see it, it would be even more better. But
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna go see the IMAX. I'm gonna turn.
So it's coming back
that theater.
in IMAX between the 9th and the 15th. If you do want to go check it out, it will be in 70mm IMAX. I implore you to try to go check it out. It's going to be hard because of the simple fact that motherfucking seats are going to be sold out. But if you can go see it in IMAX, I definitely implore you to go see it in IMAX. For me, I loved everything about this film. I love the cinematography. I love the story. I love the plot. I thought that it wasn't weak. It wasn't scary as I thought it was going to be, but overall, I thought it was still a great film overall, if that makes sense. I think the strongest character in this film, believe it or not, for me, was Smoke. I could relate to Smoke personally. I play the protector role most of the time. I'm not always smiling. I'm more about business. You know what I'm saying? Compared to other people who can possibly see themselves as stacked because they like, yo, I can talk, I can move, I can do what I do. I know Cash probably like, yeah, that's the guy I can possibly relate to.
The smooth talker.
Smooth talking and shit. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. But I also see how some of those characters resonate with a lot of other Black people. Like for you, so you could probably more or less resonate with Annie, who is more spiritual, who is, you know what I'm saying, a protector as well in her aspect. Because she protected them and told them what to do when this shit popped off. Didn't nobody want to believe that shit? Yeah, she held it down. He was a strong Black lead, a strong Black female.
First minute.
Yeah. Overall, if I had to give this film, our rating system here is like 5 bricks. If I had to give this film a number, it would be 5 out of 5 bricks. It's definitely worth a watch. It's definitely worth to go see. I do think that you should go. I implore everyone. You know what I'm saying? Go see this film. Not only that, this is an independent film. A lot of people don't know the story about Ryan Coogler. I just read the other day that his wife invested in his script writing software. Script writing software is like over $300. She invested in him. She put that money in. Strong Black women.
If I'm not mistaken, she's in the credits too.
She fucking is.
That's the executive producer. Yeah, she's the executive producer of the movie.
Well, she better be. Shit. You motherfucker, she paid for shit. Shit. Fruitvale Station was your first movie. She paid for that.
So if you was to rate it out of the bricks being that it's up to 5, what you would give it?
I would give it 4.5. Yeah.
4.5.
4.5.
Why? 4.5.
I wish there was a little more backstory on certain parts. Like I said, with the Indians, I wish they would have expanded on that more. I wish they would have expanded on the whole backstory with like Mary and her mom and like taking care of them and that whole thing. So there was a lot of stuff I wish they could have kind of explained more, but I would love for it to be maybe a prequel. Maybe they can kind of start off with them like, you know, in Chicago and kind of go and explain that stuff more. But yeah, I'll say 4.5.
I'm going 4.5. I'm going 4.5. The reason why is I didn't like the ending. It was too convenient. It was too convenient.
Was it too safe, you think?
Too safe. Too safe. I don't need the backstories from everybody because they did a good job when they introduced everybody, kind of get an idea. So you want the prequel. I wouldn't want the prequel because like with Miss Mary's mother, she did a horrible job at raising them kids. Look at what they turned out to be. Came with the robbers. She did a horrible job raising them.
You raised 2 criminals in the home.
Girl, what you guys knock it off.
With the Indians, with the Indians, I wouldn't want to know nothing more about the Indians because they're already a mysterious culture. So even in the beginning, even in the beginning when they was like, "Let's go, it's time to go." It was for me when I looked at the Indian, it was like, "Hey man, they get tired of trying to save people.
Yeah.
All right, we see what kind of people you are actually when they see the hoods and stuff. We see what kind of people you are. We not trying to save y'all. Fuck it. Y'all made y'all. That's what I get from the
Not only that, it was like again, like I said, it's getting dark, nigga. We gotta go.
You ain't gonna see us no more because these are the Indians were actually vampire hunters.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, they were vampire hunters in the
So that was the thing that they introduced in the beginning of the culture. Like they said, there's a person, we have tribes who hunt these individuals. And they were a part of their tribe was a part of it. Then we had an African tribe that was a part of it. It was another tribe, another nation that was a part. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, a native nation that was a part of it. Let me make sure I put that in there. But yeah, overall, again, 5 out of 5 for me. I love the cinematography. I thought the story was great. I love certain things. I loved everything about this film. I think I really loved everything about this film. It's definitely on my top list of films for 2025. Definitely on that top.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
4-star. I think Michael B. Jordan killed the role. Shit, I thought he had
Absolutely.
a twin for real.
That's crazy.
He bodied it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did it. I think him and Ryan and the rest of that whole cast did a great job. Overall, the next film I do want to see, if we're talking about film, I do want to go see the Weeknd's film "Hurry Up Tomorrow," which comes out. Also, it comes out on May 16th. The Thunderbolts is out right now. Definitely want to check that out as well. And Fantastic Four comes in July. So those are like, I ain't worried about that right now. Superman ain't hitting.
I want enough Superman.
I want that Fantastic Four right now. But that's it, folks. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Soul. Shout out to Cash. Appreciate y'all coming through, talking about this film with us. And we out. Till next time. Peace.
Y'all be good.